He was adjudged the best rice farmer in 2018 in the Shama district, and is cultivating acres of land right here in Takoradi.
Service, yeah. I always love Takoradi.
Awesome.
Yes. The land, build accommodation, so that the youth will be there. Then they go to their farms. They can be motivated to go into it, produce cabbage for the government to buy, or maybe if it's a company, then they will come in to buy. I want us to move from the rice itself to maybe the byproduct or, or the waste.
Okay. Mr. Roland, let me ask you, is it possible to do something here in Takoradi?
Yes, it's possible.
One question many people keep asking themselves is it possible to build a sustainable business right here in Takoradi or in Ghana as a whole? Well, on an Unknown Hero series today, we throw the spotlight on one young graduate who's doing great things right here in Takoradi. Guess what? He was adjudged the best rice farmer in 2018 in the Shama district, and is cultivating acres of land right here in Takoradi. Welcome, Mr. Roland Pra, to our show.
Thank you, Mr. Kobe.
And we've heard about the great things you're doing, and we must say that we are so proud of you.
Thank you.
And we are here to know a lot more about what you do and how you do all the great things that you do. So can you tell us about yourself? Who is Jesse Roland Pra?
Jesse Roland Pra is a young graduate. Yeah. I attended Chapel Hill, so I'll start with my childhood days. Yeah. Chapel Hill School.
In Takoradi here?
Yeah, in Takoradi.
Great.
Takoradi, yeah. So from Chapel Hill, I completed 2004. Further to Infantipim School.
Nice.
Yeah, that was 2004 to 2007. So I'm a mobile 07.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Shout out to all the mobile fraternity out there.
All my mates out there. Yeah. From then, we had to apply for university. Yeah, so I remember we had to stay at home for a year. Our time, you stay at home for a year before you move to the university.
Unlike how things are now.
Yes, it's not so fast now. Yeah, so I applied University of Education, Kumasi campus. Yeah, I chose construction technology, and God being so good, yeah, I was given that program.
Great.
Yeah, so 2008 to 2012. Yeah. So after that, I had my service in Bombay Secondary School.
Still in Takoradi here?
Still in Takoradi, yeah. I always loved Takoradi.
Awesome.
Yes, yeah. So Takoradi, that's Bombay. I taught construction technology, or BC.
Okay.
Yeah, they normally term it BC. Yeah, building construction. I also did that for a year. Yeah. So after we had completed everything, you need to come home and start a job hunting. So, years as a professional teacher, you have to go back to the teaching field. Yeah. I remember applying to schools, all the schools that were having technical courses. Yeah, but there was embargo.
Too sad.
Yes, there was embargo during our time, so they weren't recruiting teachers. And even if there was a need for any teacher, it wasn't my field. Yes. Yeah. So things became very difficult. As a graduate, you be in the house, other people are working. So
it's so frustrating.
Yes, so frustrating. Then I decided that if the teaching side isn't going well, let me apply for field work or any company. So these big companies here in Takoradi, Gasem, Gapoa, Flamers, all those big companies. That's where every application goes. That's what comes in mind. Yeah. So that's where we applied and nothing was coming. We didn't hear anything, or I didn't hear anything. We had other friends too who applied. So you call Charlie, have you heard anything? So Charlie, I haven't heard anything. No, okay, let's stay at home. So somebody linked me. Of course, they are looking for engineers. They are looking for engineers.
But you had an education background.
Education, that's the problem. I said, let me give it a try.
Okay.
So I applied, and I remember one day they called me, Mr. Pra, we've seen your application. They are Indian, so you know how they talk. But when we are going through, we are not seeing anything like engineering, education. I said, oh, boss, I can do the job. Okay, meet us. So I went to see them. I remember second D.
Okay.
Yeah, they came to the Mofa regional office because it's related to agriculture, so they need to. Yeah. So I met them. I had one
interaction with them.
Yes. Then looking through my CV, everything is construction, but education. So one thing that saved me was the attachment.
Okay.
I done attachment in a company, which is into also construction, and so that's one thing that helped my CV. They say, okay, then let's give him a try. God being so good, they gave me one site at Takwasimpa.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't know it was even for rice production. So I had to go in as a young guy, meeting other engineers. You need to also supervise them. Yeah. So I tried to do my best, giving all I knew. And luckily I was able to also excel in that field. And all along as I was working, I realized my contract was a year because I'm not a qualified engineer. They will not extend, they will try you. So it's a trial. So a year contract. After that, I'm coming back.
What happens next?
What happens next? Now, this construction work is for rice production. They'll give it out to farmers for them to produce. I even thought it was for a company that, but later I realized it to be given to the community for them to produce rice, sell some, and everything moves on well. So I pleaded with the authorities to give me 1 acre for trial. So I also try, and I was given 1 acre. So that's where everything started. The whole dream about Roland Rice, that's where it started.
Wow.
Yeah. So 1 acre, I had my rice seed. I had to plant. So even with the rice, we have the broadcasting method and the transplanting.
Okay. What's the difference between these two?
These two, they all yield rice, but one yields better than the other. And when it comes to management, weed control and everything, the transplanting makes it easier. But the broadcasting is scattered. So controlling things there on the field will be somehow difficult. Yeah. So we did the row method. We plant them in rows. So you see them in lines. When you are standing from a distance, you see that the rice, they are in rows. Yeah, very neat. So that's the method I used. And for 3.5 months, I had to wait to see the rice shooting for harvesting. And everything was perfect. And because it was a new land or a virgin land, any rice you cultivate from a virgin land tastes very sweet.
Wow.
Yeah, because no one has cultivated on the land before. So everything is natural. Yeah. So we harvested in September. We planted in June and harvested in September. And now to do the drying, sun drying, then we processed at the mill. So I remember bringing the rice from Takwa straight to Shama district for the processing, because there was no milling plant here in Takwa. So I had to bring it to the Shama district for processing. I remember that day sending my rice to the mill. When they started processing it, the quality of grain, people were like, wow, it's your first time, how come everything is nice, the scent? You see, because it was my first time, I pushed in my all to make sure everything becomes very neat. I focused. So being educated, you need to apply your education in whatever you do. Yeah. So the grains were very nice. Comparing the local rice and the foreign rice, I got to know there was no difference. So I brought it home. I sold some there. People were in rush for it, so I had to sell some because I used money in the production.
To invest into it.
So I sent some home. I remember that evening we cooked some, and the scent alone. So I was eager. I was waiting for it to finish cooking. Then I taste the rice. I tasted this rice, and it was wow, very nice, very very nice. I was like, so local rice tastes good, and people are not patronizing local rice. So that's where I started asking questions. I go to people, why is it that
they're not eating local rice?
Local rice, and some of the answers were there are stones in it, there are impurities, it doesn't taste nice, a whole lot of complaints, and the color is not white, it's brownish, a whole lot. So those I also gave out my rice for them to try as a gift. They started calling. So now there was a response to what I gave them.
Okay.
Oh, Jesse, where did you get the rice from? It's very nice. Where can I get some to buy? I said, oh, I planted. Really? So people became amazed and marveled. Then people called, we want some to buy. But since it was a gift, I had less at home. Now there is demand. So I started relying on the farmers who also produced. Because they also don't have people who come to buy because they don't know about the rice.
Exactly.
So now I've had solution to their problem. So I'll now buy from them and also sell it out. Now we're selling it in normal plain rubbers or maybe in sacks without being branded. So this when Roland Rice
was birth.
Yes, was birth. So it came out. Now the brand name, what name to use was also another thing. So I decided
before it comes to the brand name. So you're talking about you finding a solution to the farmers because they had the supply but they didn't have a demand.
Yes.
But after you had given out your rice, some problems also came up. People were telling you the problems which you saw with the rice.
Yes.
How was that solved?
The first problem was how to cook the rice. People had a challenge with the cooking.
Okay.
So me being the first person to cook, even that day, I couldn't even cook it well.
Does cooking local rice is different from?
Yes, it's different from cooking foreign rice. It needs less water.
Okay.
You don't use more water. It should be less. So if you take 1 cup, the water level should either also be 1 cup.
Oh, but many people don't know this.
Many people don't know. So the foreign rice takes more water.
Okay.
And even cooking, it will be hard. Then you apply another water for the foreign rice before it will become soft. But with the local rice, it's once.
Oh.
Yes. Even when the top is hard, the down is soft. So you just lower the fire. Then you leave it. Everything will be uniform. So less water. Normally because it's fresh. Most of the rice we eat, they are not fresh. They are old rice or more than a year before we start consuming. But with the local rice, they are always fresh. So that was the challenge, the first challenge I had. Nobody complained about the stones because I had dried it well.
Okay.
It was well dried on a tapoli. I realized initially people were drying on bare concrete floor. Okay. So that's where they get the stones from. Yeah. And one stone, no matter the size, when it goes into the mill, it crashes. Okay. Then to turn out to be particles, a lot of stones. One stone can give about 10 stones. So to start spreading. So when you dry it well, there are no stones. Okay. Later I realized when you harvest them manually too, that's where you also get the stones too. Okay. So if you get a combined harvester, that goes into the field. That
problem is solved.
Is solved. Yeah. It's halfway solved because you still come and dry. Yeah. So depending on where you dry it, will bring the stones or not. Yeah. So that the only challenge I faced during that time was the cooking. Okay. So I had to tell them use less water when cooking. And from then it picked. Okay. Yeah. So getting the name, the brand name.
Yeah. So now we are back to the brand name.
Yes.
Roland Rice.
Yeah. Roland. So my name is JC Roland Pra.
Okay.
But I was just using the JC Pra. So more people knew JC Pra instead of the Roland.
In school, everyone knew JC Pra. Okay.
Yeah. So bringing the Roland into it, more people didn't know, or most people didn't know I'm the one producing.
Okay.
So they know about Roland rice, Roland rice. Until people who are very inquisitive want to know why Roland, because it's a local rice. So why are you using Roland, or you don't use maybe Obasma or maybe Obatampa? But I decided I'll use one stone to kill two birds.
Okay.
So it will sound foreign.
Okay.
And
it's still a local brand.
Yes. So
that was smart.
Eating a foreign name, but you're eating local rice.
Yes.
Do you get it? Yes.
Very smart.
Yeah.
Very smart.
Because I realized in the market segment, most of the foreign brands or foreign names are moving.
Yeah.
Foreign names move.
They are more favored than the local brands.
Than the local names. So Roland, the brand name also pushes the product.
That's true.
It's helped me a lot.
Great.
So we package some in 1 kilo, the box, then the 5 kilo rubber, then the 5x5. That's how we started it.
Great. Great.
Initially, those that I was supplying, like giving out, they were just plain rubber without any branded.
Not branded. Okay.
No branded. So this one comes in a branded rubber with phone number, so that you can call where to get some. And now you need distributor, because it's now out of Takoradi. People buy from Takoradi and dash to friends, maybe in Cape Coast, Kumasi, and those areas. So they will be like, where can I get some in Kumasi to buy? Or maybe the person that bought some say, oh, people are now asking me, so now I also want to sell. Can you give me 10 bags? Can you give me 5 bags? Can you give me 20 bags? Then they will send. So that's how Roland rice started spreading out of Tadi.
So for how many years have you been doing this? For how long?
6 years.
6 years?
Yes, 2015. So production 2015.
Okay.
But we launched the rice in 2017.
Great.
Yes. For people to come in to taste the rice. So I remember that day, 16th July 2017.
Okay.
We had to launch Roland rice for people to come in. So we had wache, jollof, emutuo, rice porridge, so that you try everything, then you get to know that Roland rice can be used to cook any rice dish. So it went well. People gave their remarks, everything. Those tasting local rice for their first time, they really enjoyed it.
Great. So you've been doing this for 6 years.
Yes.
What would you say have been some of your most challenging moments?
The most challenging moment, of course, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. The most challenging has been finance.
Finance.
Yes, finance.
It's oftentimes finance.
Yeah, rice production is capital intensive. Anything surrounding rice business itself is money.
Before we even move on with your challenges, like the financial challenges, tell us how much does one need to start a business like this, a rice production business?
I would say, with my experience, if you have to start any rice business, at least 10 acres would be okay.
10 acres?
Yes.
Would you need to rent? Would you need to buy? Would you need to...
Depending on the consultant you get. In any business, you need to consult.
Okay.
You just don't...
So in case I want to start a rice production business, I don't need to just jump into it.
No,
I need to consult.
For my case, for instance, I didn't get anybody to guide me.
Okay.
So I went in to get the experience.
Okay.
So it took me some time for me to stand on my feet. Yeah. So I've gained a lot of experience.
Wow.
Yeah. So anybody that will come in, that I want to go into this business, I'll just advise you, start with 10 acres.
Start with 10 acres.
And be focused on it. So either you rent the land or you buy it upfront, so that it will become yours. Because when renting, somebody can also come in that he's also looking for a land to buy, maybe for a different thing, or not farming per se, and it will be just sold off. Yeah. So if you buy your land, I think it will help, or a long lease, maybe 20 years or 25 years. Yes. So when you acquire the land, you make sure you get the right seed. Most farmers don't know that the seed that you plant or you drop into the ground
determine the yield.
Yes.
And even the quality of the yield.
Yes. Or even the market value. People demanding for such rice.
Does it mean
some rice which no sweet?
Does it mean even for the local rice we have varieties?
Yeah, we have a lot of varieties. Yeah. A lot. So some will be like, I've tasted one local rice, it wasn't nice. There's a whole lot of
and I think these are some of the challenges many of us do have. It's because we tasted a bad one.
Yes.
We think all of them are like that.
Local rice is it's never like that.
Oh, so there are varieties. What are some of the varieties?
We have the jasmine. People think jasmine is a rice.
But there's jasmine rice.
Yes, but it's a variety on its own.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but somebody has named this brand jasmine rice. But their variety is jasmine. Then we have agra. Agra too is another variety. Agra, the grains are bigger. But jasmine slim. So in Asia, they mostly plant jasmine. Yeah, so most of the foreign rice you eat, they are all the same. Yeah, they are jasmine. So we have the agra, and now we have the S-Biker. S-Biker is like a combination of both agra and jasmine. There's a
so it's sort of a hybrid.
Yes, there's a crossing. Yeah. So you have both tastes. Yes, that's how the S-Biker looks like. And just agra, it's normally taller. The grain, not the grain, the plant itself is taller. So if there's any wind during the production and there's any storm or wind, it just lies down. It's called the lodging. And when your rice lodges on the ground, you are running at a loss because the grains will either be contaminated in the water. It will be difficult harvesting. So we try to get shorter varieties. So that even no matter the direction of the wind, it will not blow it onto the ground, to be well firmed. So that's why the S-Biker came in. So some varieties need more water. Some also need less water. So you look at where your land is before you get the type of variety. Some people don't know, so they just go in and buy any variety to plant. This is when you need to be educated. The extension officers, the agri officers who come in, go in for this variety. This variety dwells well in maybe our center or our area. So use this variety. And where there is market or where there is demand, the kind of variety, you need to produce certain varieties. So me being with consumers always, I know what they like. So I produce what they want.
Great. Well, we're talking about the challenges you had. You spoke about financial.
Then now I'll come to the natural phenomenon. There are some challenges that comes naturally. So one is flooding. Sometimes you're able to plant the rice, then to rain heavy and everything will be beneath the water. So if it goes in for about 2 weeks to 1 month, everything is spoiled. So you need to plant them again. So flood is one issue. And when the rice too is about ready for harvesting, birds attack. Yes, birds normally attack the rice. So that's another challenge.
You can't use scarecrows to scare them?
Now the birds are no longer afraid of scarecrows. They are no longer afraid.
They're getting used to the scarecrows.
Yes. So you need to get an acre, either 2 guys, young people to be on the field throwing catapult, shouting, hey, hey, hey. So that's another work.
That's serious.
Tedious work. Very tedious. So getting people to be scaring the birds is another work on its own.
Are there no technological means of doing all these? Would we always need to get people on the farm to scare all these birds away?
I'll throw this challenge to the youth out there, the tertiary. They normally do research works. So research into rice production. Let's come out with devices, technological devices that can scare birds. So we can get a frequency that the birds will hear, but we the humans, we don't hear. That will drive them off the field. Yeah, so there can be some radiation or something. Those into technology, they'll be able to create something that farmers will even buy. Then you use it to scare birds.
So there's an opportunity for those of us out there, if you could create some devices to help scare these birds away, the better it would be.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
What other challenge are we talking about here?
Even another challenge would be the soil that you are planting the rice on. There are some technology that can determine your yield. Know the amount of fertilizer to use. Whether you have to use 1 bag or maybe 2 bags or something. So there are devices that you can plant them on the field to detect the kind of yield, or even if the land is not good for rice, it will tell you it's not good for rice, it's for something else. So don't cultivate on that land, or maybe you need to do something.
So it means that not every land is suitable for rice production.
No, not every land.
Wow.
Not every land. Then another challenge will be the machines.
Okay.
The equipment to use on the farm. We don't have the right equipment for rice production.
Okay.
So we normally use other tractors for maybe maize production or different crop. That's what we are using for rice. So lack of implement or machinery is another challenge in our district or region.
So, talking about all these challenges, what happens during seasons when there are no rains? Because I know that rice depends heavily on rains, on water.
Yeah. I remember last year in the Volta region, it didn't rain. So most of the rice got burnt because of the sunshine.
Wow.
Yeah. So in our region, we had some little rainfall of which we could, but this when we need irrigation. So maybe the one village, one dam. So when there are dams around, we can just pump in. But my field is irrigated. We use the earth canal.
Okay.
So we just block the river. Then the river will rise, then flow through pipes. Then we channel them to the field. But from my experience in rice production, I realized when we bring in the water, it passes through the surface of the land. It's on the surface.
Okay.
So if your land is not well flattened, and there's any slope, it will just push the nutrients to one side.
Oh, okay.
So when you go to your land or your field, 1 acre, you realize one part is doing well than the other part because of the slope. So it pushes most of the nutrients at one particular end. So if your land is well flattened, that one will be okay for you. But since it's a plant, you need water to fall on the leaves to make it grow well. And the rainfall is very good. So the foreigners or the whites, they realize we can bring in something like rainfall, so sprinklers. Let's sprinkle water on it. So if we are able to get sprinklers to be sprinkling water onto the rice plant, it will do well. It will be like normal rainfall. Yeah, because rice likes cool temperature. It shouldn't be. That's why in the rainy season we normally plant rice. It's not that maybe rice needs more water, but it needs that cool temperature to grow well.
So still talking about seasons, talking about rainy season, dry season. You spoke about after harvesting you need to dry the rice.
Yeah.
So what happens if we're in the rainy season?
A good question. When we are in the rainy season, that's another challenge. So we normally store the rice in our storerooms.
So even though we are all praying for rains, the rains can still be a challenge.
Yes, it's another challenge. Too much
rain
is
bad.
So we normally have to keep it, or we spread it indoors.
Okay.
Yeah, so that the air drying, but that one will not be able to extract all the moisture content in the rice. You should have about 12 to 13% before you mill.
Oh.
Yeah. You shouldn't be too dry.
Okay.
Yeah. So those in the northern region, they prefer the parboiled rice.
Okay.
So someone will ask, what is parboiled rice? They steam it. They use the heat steaming, like evaporation method, so that the steam will cook the rice and have that brownish color. So when it goes into the mill, it doesn't break the grains.
Okay.
So it contains all the nutrients. But that rice, when you cook, it becomes in your mouth, you be like it's cutted. It doesn't have that sticky nature. So those are the north. They have a special way of cooking their rice. But we, the southern side, we prefer the white rice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sticky. That one very nice. Yeah.
So talking about your transitioning from being a graduate, a young graduate looking for a job, not having any, and then getting an opportunity to work on the field, and then now being recognized as a farmer, even being adjudged as the best rice farmer in 2018. Would you say that most Ghanaians, say your young Ghanaians, young graduates, is it a matter of mentality? That's why people are saying they're unemployed. Do you think there are jobs out there, but people are not ready to move out of their comfort zone to do these jobs?
There are jobs out there, like the agribusiness, but it's about we enlightening the youth that there is this sector. We can also focus, move there, and it will also help you. I'm in the agribusiness, so whoever I meet or whoever gets opportunity to meet me, I'll just expose you to the agribusiness. Whether you be encouraged to move into the agri, that one fine, I'll guide you. But if we don't get the opportunity, you will not know about it. So we need to enlighten our youth that if these sectors are choked, let your attention come or be focused on the agri side. There are more opportunities there. It might not be only rice production, maize, a whole lot, cocoa, cashew, but it will all come with finances. How to acquire the land. They're planting for food and jobs. But if there's no access to the land, exposing the youth to the land. I met one man, he told me in Egypt, they had a scheme.
Okay.
They prepare 1 acre, then they will build a bungalow. So that will motivate you. So it's a desert. The place is a desert. So they will just reclaim the land, bring in black soil, everything. So about maybe 20 acres, then they will build bungalows. That will attract the youth. That farm, produce cabbage. Then the government will buy.
Okay.
Then we will be deducting from your bungalow and the land. So maybe about in 2 years' time or 3 years' time, you will have finished paying. Then you own. So people will be motivated to go into it, produce cabbage for the government to buy, or maybe if it's a company, then they will come in to buy. So even with this rice product, we can also do get the land, build accommodation, so that the youth will be there. Then they go to their farms, they come back to rest. So maybe in 3 years' time or 4 years' time, you'll be able to pay for it and they'll own it. Then you do it in another place, to another region. Then within some 10-20 years, we would have acquired more lands. Now,
created employment as well.
We are feeding students in the secondary school. We can use this produce to feed them. So the youth will know we eat what we grow. So when they come out they'll be motivated to also go into agriculture or into farming.
Talking about the school feeding program, do they use your products?
I haven't given my rice to any feeding program yet. Our target has been individuals, corporate workers, and other stuff. But since our production hasn't
gone on a large scale,
if we're able to scale up, we're able to get such contracts to supply rice to schools.
For now, how many acres of land do you cultivate your rice on?
Currently, it's about 300 acres.
300 acres?
Yeah, in the Shama district.
Wow.
Yeah. So we are looking forward to capture all lands in Western region. So we start with our pilot base will be in Western region, capturing most of the arable lands for rice production.
Okay.
Then we pushing in farmers, trying to get them support to produce more rice, so that the company Roland Rice will be able to buy from them. Yeah, so that will be the outgrower scheme. So we're also creating employment for other people.
So talking about scaling up your business, there are investors out there who are watching us.
Yeah.
What does an investor need to know? How much would he want to bring in to make the business more profitable?
In the rice production itself, is capital intensive, as I said earlier on. So even with the machinery, there are a whole lot of places people need to invest in. The machines, combined harvester for harvesting the rice, then the milling machine that will process the rice. So it's a line.
It's a value chain.
Yes. Even with the mill itself, from the dehuxing, it needs to pass through a whole lot to the polisher, to the separator, to the destoner. The destoner takes off the stones.
Okay.
So local rice, which is not moving well because of stones and metals there, if you get these machines, they will be able to do that work.
Okay.
Take off the stones, process it well, polish it neatly, grade the rice so that the broken will be separated from the full grain.
Okay.
Yeah. But the local rice we have here is mixed up.
Yeah.
But we need to grade the rice so that the broken will be different from the full grain. Then we package them separately. So that on the rice bag you see 5% broken, 10% broken, 50% broken. So we need to grade our rice. Then packaging. So in that same line, then the machine too will be packaging. So people will be there at the packaging center, holding, bagging it, putting it in the 5x5 rubber, sealing, loading them into trucks or trailers to be for supply. Then you get marketers. People will be marketing the rice. So distributors will also get job to do.
Yeah.
So that's the chain. Now I want us to move from the rice itself to maybe the byproduct or the waste.
Okay.
Now we are in the circular economy. You reusing the waste, your waste material to usable things, so that we don't just throw dispose them off. So the rice husks, the brown thing that we move out, we normally burn them.
Are they usable?
Useful.
Really?
You can compress them, use them for plywood, board. So these boards can be used for partitioning structures. You see these skyscrapers, high buildings.
Yeah.
You need light materials, not to put weight on the building. So you can use this board to partition, get your rooms. So normally they just build a big hall. You need to partition them to your bedroom, kitchen. So you use these boards to do the partitioning. You can also use them for cooking, not cooking, like bowls for serving. So you can even serve your rice in your porridge, everything. They also compress, use high pressure to shape it like a bowl or a plate, spoons. So all those things will not be metallic, but they will be natural things. So everything is green, the green environment. Now these same hacks can be used to manufacture charcoal. So instead of cutting down trees,
we can use
rice husks for charcoal.
Great.
Yeah. So that we will not be cutting down our trees for charcoal anymore. Yeah. There are rice husks itself. There is silica in it, so you can extract silica. Silica too is being used for many things. But if we don't research, we will not get to know.
So do you think as a nation we are making enough out of these byproducts? Are we using them?
We are not using them. We are just.
So what happens to them after production?
We just burn them.
Wow.
Yes, we just.
And even destroying the environment even further.
Yes. So we are burning off with the carbon is going up there
to pollute the environment.
but we can reuse them. Now, when we are polishing the rice too, there's this smooth product that comes in. That's the rice bran.
Okay.
So it's being given to the poultry, the fowl, piggery, those into piggery, they also come in to buy.
So they can be feed for
these
animals.
These animals, yes.
Right.
So it's another source of income. Yeah. So when we produce more rice, we'll be able to get all these products to be able to give it out to those who are also into animal farming. But now it seems feed has been a challenge.
Yeah.
Those in poultry, and they are complaining about the prices of feed. But if we do more agribusiness, we're able to get all these products to supply.
Awesome. Well, would you say that rice farming business has been profitable?
Rice farming has been on and off. It depends on the years. Some years you get good yield, other years too it's on and off depending on when the flood comes. Yeah, but it's a good business when you produce more, because now there is demand.
Oh yeah, for some demand. Years now it's been really a demand on the market.
There's a demand for local rice. So if you're able to produce more, get the machinery, everything to make work easier, it's a good business.
Great. So you'd encourage people out there to venture into it.
Yes.
So for a couple of years now, we've seen a lot of local rice production businesses spring up. And what would you say has been the competitive edge of Roland Rice over the others? What is it about Roland Rice that makes it unique from all the other brands?
For the past years, I also realized there were more local rice out there, of which I didn't even know. So when the campaign for Eat Local Rice came in, then they all
sprung up.
Yes. So Roland Rice was also competing with them. There was demand. And one thing I've realized in the business sector is you might not be able to capture the whole market. Some people too need to produce. But you must be unique.
Exactly.
So Roland Rice, our taste, the taste of Roland Rice, and it stays longer after cooking. It can even take about 2 days or 3 days before it goes bad after cooking. Yeah, that's our unique thing about Roland Rice. Then less salt when cooking. See, now salt is not good for our health.
So too much of salt even gives us hypertension.
Yes. So with Roland Rice, if you are apathetic, you just cook without salt, you can eat, as compared to the other rice. So this is one of our unique.
Great. So talking about making supply available for the demand that is coming in, where can we find Roland Rice? Is it just in Takoradi?
Roland Rice now are spread throughout the regions.
So it's in all the 16 regions?
Not all the 16, but the coastal side. So from Ashanti, Eastern, Volta, Western, Central, and Greater Accra, you find Roland Rice. We have distributors all over. In Takoradi, market circle, or any shop in market circle, you get Roland Rice to buy.
What has been your marketing strategy?
A lot.
Oh, can you share some of that?
Social media. Friends. We have flyers, handles, the FM stations and the TV stations. So everywhere, Roland Rice, our local natural rice. So you hear the music being played. So this part of our strategies.
Great. We know that we have investors out there watching us. We have people out there who want to do business with you, who want to get some of your products to taste. What are some of the contacts you may want to share with them in case they want to find you anywhere?
On website, or if you want to use the internet.
We can tell them through the camera.
But first of all, with my number 024-988-7585, 024-988-7585. So you can WhatsApp me directly. You can go to Facebook, Roland Rice Ghana, or Roland Rice GH. So anything about investment, you call on, then we discuss. Great.
So it means that on all social media pages, Roland Rice.
Yes, you find Roland Rice.
And we are wrapping up with the interview, but I would want to know what would be your last words to someone out there, a young person out there, they want to, they are frustrated.
Yeah.
They want to do something on their own, like you're doing.
Yeah.
What would be that advice you'd want to give them?
The advice I'll give out there to anybody watching, I'll keep on encouraging you, and anything you've set your mind on, just focus on it. Focus is one key thing. Don't let what people will say turn you down. There are a lot of people out there, when you share your ideas, they'll tell you it's never possible. I'll tell you it's possible. You can do it. When it comes to finances, it's another challenge, but still push, talk to people. There will be people out there to help you. And I think you must also know where to go. You have to be careful, because you have the good people and the bad people out there. So you must know the right people to also tell them your story or your problem, so that they also don't confuse you the better, because you're already confused. So the more they confuse you, then to spot things, I would say get the right people. And before you move into any business, consult those who are already into the business. Ask questions, how they started, so that when you also started, you know the challenges and you're able to solve it. But getting a problem and finding a solution, that's the key thing as an entrepreneur. Get a problem, find a problem. The problem people are facing, try to solve it. That's the way to go now.
Great.
Thank you.
Great. So, in your last words, you spoke about young people out there trying to consult. They should consult before they venture into any business they want to. What would you say are two mistakes you'd advise any young person out there to avoid? What two mistakes do you think you did that you not want anyone out there to do?
The mistakes has been borrowing money
to do business.
Yes.
You never do that if you had the opportunity
to. It's one thing that can pull you down. Yes. Try not to borrow money and save a lot. Yeah, whatever you get from your business, save it. And if you reinvest it into it, I would think it is better.
Great. Okay, so finally, Mr. Roland, let me ask you: is it possible to do something here in Takoradi?
Yes, it's possible. Since Takoradi is part of the world, it's possible. If somebody is doing it in Accra, Kumasi, and it's working, Takoradi must also work. Being a businessman, I realize business in Takoradi, most of them are not doing well because of even the people buying. It seems people don't have money. People don't have money. Well, anything that you produce, somebody needs to buy.
Yeah.
Where is the person getting the money?
That's true.
Yeah. So the money is not flowing. But you need to keep on pushing. Keep on pushing the product. And you must make sure your product is not centered in Takoradi, but it should spread. We need to spread. Not even Ghana, but beyond. That should be the focus.
Great.
That the business should not remain in Takoradi, but spread it.
Great. Well, thank you so much for having us. So this has been Unknown Heroes series, and like we always say, we believe in Takoradi, we believe in Ghana, we believe that there are a lot of talents here who need to be supported. And keep following us, keep subscribing. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to follow Roland Rice and all the other people doing great things out there. We believe in Ghana and we believe that it is possible. Cheers.